I stay with the heat even though I'm a sad boy. You better watch the way you breathe around me for that breath be your last boy. I've been drinking red, boy. I've been chopping down these birds, McCoy. No, I bet my rich in really 9 months. Overseas, kind of skin.
Slowly making his way towards the Girl 14, Rady looks at the sky. The clouds had begun to part as, flashing around, Luffy and Kizaru kept moving about with incredible power. It really is their era. Launching a Yata no Kagami, Kizaru blitzes Luffy, who's flying back while a shrilling attack of light follows him and upon reaching him reforms into Kizaru himself as he strikes down with a dropkick. Luffy blocks it when the admiral's leg is then speared through by a blade from the left. He screams in pain. Luffy grabs his leg at that point and his muscles tense as he throws him towards the floor and then blasts down after him. The blade in the admiral's leg then fades when from behind he is stabbed through the back and he spews blood. We see a smiling Luffy holding his spatial scythe as he spins it around himself. "Man, I missed you," he said to the Phantasm. Kizaru manages to instantly reform and land, and when he looks up he sees Luffy, who created around him 100 gates, even more maybe. It seems that more and more Luffy just keeps using incredible items that have just as much speed as Kizaru does. This honestly makes him very incredible. "Isn't this fun, Admiral? You did all this for a worthless piece of trash who makes people slaves. Is this fun for you? You would kill a Celestial, Monkey D. Luffy. I mean, you do realize why that could cause some problems?" "Yeah, duh. I did it so you wouldn't harass Zoro. He might have hit a dragon, but I slayed one. So come at me with everything you got." All blades from his gate release as Kizaru would then go even faster with his current speed, just moving and moving while reinforcing himself with Haki until he's hit in the chest by chains, and he's then wrapped around not just in armament Haki but in the supreme color of Haki. Borsalino obviously is hurt. He cannot block the attack because he himself is not a conqueror. He considers himself just a cog. While the battle rages on, Nami holds her spear forward, and we find the Straw Hats, of course, at their ship. That spear then retracts, begins to transform, like I said in the last part, and takes a new form, one that Frankie didn't even see before. In Luffy's armory is contained Vajra, a weapon of Hindu origins, and I definitely butchered the name a little bit, but anyway, he has other lightning weapons of different cultures from our myths. This is the only way that I thought it would help to kind of integrate the whole point of having infinite weapons. I want to take a little bit of myths from our place. So you guys will see more things like that, but this weapon is definitely not what you were expecting, but you will definitely recognize it. "Milnir, I call upon you," she said. Lightning strikes from above, hitting the hammer as Nani swings it back and then forward, directing the strike of lightning to descend right onto a ship and then decimating it in one blow. Everyone is left shocked. "So this is crazy. Why the hell am I holding something this OP? How the hell should I know?" said Frankie. "I thought it was just a spear. We can't move from the spot until they come, so just deal with it." Past them at this point flies a blast of light that travels, burning away the front of a ship. "Chopper?" asks Usopp as he turns. He then sees the reindeer running over, and while in tears he asks if they're okay as he makes his leap to the ship. He lands and finds that they are damn near encircled at this point. "Oh, they're everywhere," Chopper shouts. Firing off all the shots he can, he and everyone protect the ship as Frankie unveils the new addition to the weapon that he was given. While he releases a whirlwind with the spinning blades, the pieces of the blades detach, launch themselves forward, and pierce enemies before returning back to the weapon so he can complete it and then use it again. Around that time as well, right on schedule, Sanji, Brook, and Zoro arrive on the scene, as with a shout, Sanji releases a blast of flame, and a shockwave containing the most potent Haki comes from Zoro, while Brook uses a frequency to match both attacks and increase them. This all combines, blending and releasing a literally revolving firestorm before they land. "Zoro, Sanji, Brook, you guys made it. Where's Luffy?" asks Usopp. "Oh." As he falls at this point, Usopp's hands are shaking. His hands were bleeding profusely, and Chopper runs to him, saying that he should have just told him. "I'm the doctor, damn it." "Yeah, but now we can relax, right? I mean, I promised to be a brave warrior of the sea, you know?" To see Usopp gave his all to such a degree makes him earn the respect of the Monster Trio even more, as well as everyone, but they tell him that they will handle whatever comes next. Though, luckily, it seems they won't have to do much anymore. Robin says that last attack blew them to smithereens, but Luffy, is he still back there? He's fighting an admiral. Alright then, I guess we wait, said Nami, as she takes the seat, and slowly everyone else does as well. They just feel vibrations from afar from the Conqueror spirit coming their way, and around them is a graveyard of marine ships. So, I'm gonna explain a little something right now. It's not that big of a deal, but the phantasms, my bad, in Fate, they're extremely powerful weapons endowed with magic, so I had to change that a bit. In that, while Luffy uses some form of magic, it's not really emphasized. It's mostly hockey. Each weapon is like a black blade, but it doesn't actually turn black unless it's a weapon like Shisui, which is of this world. It has an ego. Each weapon has an ego, and the more and more you fight and work with them, the more powerful you become and the more hockey you unlock. Frankie and Brook just barely kind of sense hockey, but not really. They haven't really gone past that threshold. But again, it is literally vibrations going through the air. Anyone would feel it, and it'd be terrifying. And this is when Brook actually says something. All we have to do is just believe our captain. I'm sure he wouldn't want us feeling sorry for ourselves. Not many can hold off an entire fleet, but he is at the end of the day our captain, so he has to finish it. I guess we're all thinking it, huh? So you're more than just a pervert, said Nami. Yo. As he laughs, a clash of blades meanwhile occurs between Luffy's Excalibur and a blade of light before he pushes back Kizaru, who from behind is nearly speared by a rainfall of chains covered with the Conqueror spirit, forcing him to move and fracture away from the island in seconds. He ends up in the sky, miles away, and there he takes a breather and taps his earpiece. Are we sure that I have to kill him? The responder on the other end is then told by Sengoku to stand aside as he picks up, asking, how's the battle? We both currently are taking a break, but I've suffered quite a few wounds. We now see the body of Kizaru riddled with scars. Meanwhile, Luffy is at most just drenched in sweat, but his breath is still controlled, unlike the Admiral. And Sengoku, on the other hand, has to make a choice to obey the dragons or save his own man. And he makes the right choice. No matter what, you get the hell out of there now. In that instant, Luffy flies towards him, having behind him his stone grimoire, this being Dingnir, which releases blasts of fire. The blasts then gain blue color and then white as they become enveloped with his armament. But then he hears, I give up. Suddenly the flames stop, as does Luffy, who shows a murderous gaze. Slowly the flames then subside and he pulls back. I can't understand you bastards, I swear. I heard Aokiji's style of justice, and I already know what that psycho Akainu is up to. So what is it that you hold dear, Kizaru Borsalino? The Admiral stays quiet. Luffy had been reading his state of thought for a while, but he realizes in this moment that he truly considered himself a cog. Fuck off. In a flash, the Admiral travels away as Luffy slowly drops, his mind filled with thoughts of revenge, considering what they had done to his uncle, and so he lands in what was Grove 24, which is now completely razed to the ground. This place is really the worst. Are you okay, young man? With a turn, Luffy then sees the approaching Rayleigh and wipes off some sweat, saying, oh yeah, I mean, it wasn't really that hard. All he has is speed. His durability is for shit. Wait a minute, are you? As they continue their conversation, all Marines are told to back off, the ones that were approaching to fight the Strats again and lose again. And a message is sent out to the entirety of Archipelago, Sabaody Archipelago, that the battle between Luffy and the Admiral had stopped, but the outcome was never told for the sake of the people and for the sake of the Marines, because they'd be embarrassed. But of course, Big News Morgan comes in like usual, the troll he is, and he sent a few people over there, mostly because he knew that Luffy was the type of guy that would be more convicted to helping people stay safe and protect them, which he did during this entire battle while Kizaru was just trying to kill him because that's what he was ordered to do, but to no avail, obviously. He wasn't even trying to kill Kizaru because though the world government sucks, they've laid out this whole balance, and killing an admiral would cause chaos, and he needs to figure out a way to kill them without ruining other people's lives. That's kind of his main goal here. He likes to have adventures and keep other people out of it because it's not their thing. So, moments later, Luffy walks with Rayleigh and nears his ship when his crew then sees him. Hey guys, how was it, Azaro? Boring. It's not fun to pummel someone with no conviction. Yeah, only you would say that about an admiral. Is that the Rayleigh guy though? So this is your crew. They're pretty formidable. Puffing his chest out, Luffy feels like a proud papa having his children being congratulated by their grandpa and says that they're the best crew anyone could ask for, which leaves the Straw Hats embarrassed and in a comical faction, of course, except for Zoro, who's just saying that they should just leave because this is obviously too much of a big deal now. Luffy then flies to the ship saying that they'll come back here so he can do the coat for them. For now, it's best we stay clear for a little bit. Don't you regret your decision? Asked Rayleigh. What do I have to regret? I killed a scumbag. You're a weird old man, you know? Maybe I just am that. See you around. Frankie would then quickly set up a coup de vent and sends them off into the sky when Luffy summons below them Vimana. It attaches to the bottom of the ship and sort of combines with it, keeping them afloat and even taking them to the clouds, while Rayleigh simply waved. Meanwhile, the Straw Hats can finally relax and all just fall to the floor while Luffy is just laughing like usual because he's got to take some solace in what happened. It was still pretty hilarious to him. We're gonna stay away from the sea for a while. I think we can all agree that we need a break. Oh, totally. I mean, if the captain says so, I'm not gonna complain. I have so many creaks in my bones. Maybe we should go to Sky Island for a while or something? Luffy then takes a seat saying, I know it's tough when I tell you guys to just put everything on me like that, but you did pretty well. I'm proud of you. Yeah, no problem. But we're gonna get stronger though. For next time, says Sanji. I'm not doubting that. But for now, we rest. As he slowly passes out, so do the rest of them, and they know not where they're heading to begin with because Luffy didn't put a command to Vimana, so it leads the Sunny to somewhere they never think that they would even plot a course to. The clang of a weapon against another slowly awakes Luffy as he finds a spear being blocked by an auto defensor. His attacker quickly backs away as he sits up and sees before him a woman wearing animal skin, and to his left he turns, finding them more of these women dragging away Usopp, Zoro, and Sanji. He's not normal. Shoot to kill. As soon as they do, with a yawn, Luffy shouts, Leave my ship! A burst of the Conqueror spirit releases, hitting and sending them flying away, along with those who are trying to get on the ship from the sides. Slowly he gets up and walks around, tapping everyone awake, and as they slowly come to, they try to ask where they are. To answer, Luffy flies up saying, I mean, in a forest right now, there's a whole civilization here though. A bunch of women were trying to abduct us earlier. Don't threaten me with a good time. Shut up, you shit cook. You're lucky I just woke up. Simultaneously, all their stomachs would then growl, and they're surprised as they begin to laugh, and Sanji summons the cloth of the north to his hand, saying, So, what do you guys want? Moments later, eating outside on a risen table in the middle of the deck, they gorge down on a buffet while discussing what they should do from here. Well, we're still going to Fishman Island, right? Asked Usopp. Oh, definitely. They won't attack us like last time. I sent Kizaru packing, so they'll consider me an emperor. Damn, really? We've been sailing for barely a year, said Nami. We're never gonna relax again. Oh, for sure, but I think this island's people is gonna attack us again. Maybe we should figure that out first. What else is new? Hey, can I have that, Robin? Asked Chopper. Grabbing what he wanted, Robin then feeds Chopper, and Chopper tells Sanji it tastes amazing like usual, and he says, no problem. Oh, they're here. They all sense it, and Luffy stands while eating off a plate and tells everyone to keep eating as he goes to the edge, and he finds an army of women, and at their head is a certain woman, a very beautiful woman. Hi. That's truly a man. So disgusting. How dare he just talk to her majesty with his mouth full. Intruder, you'll be paying dearly for coming to this island, said Marigold. Huh? Oh, sorry, we'll leave. I'm afraid that's impossible. You're a pirate, yes? As Boa says this, she steps forward and she can sense the power of the Conqueror from this man and feels this may end in disaster because she also knows who he is. So she's resorted to negotiation, no longer using her facade of being a complete bitch. Love you, Boa. Anyway, she says, are you a pirate? And he says, yep, I want to be king of the pirates, but sorry if we intruded. Guys, they're not going to attack us as long as we leave. As she stands, Nami then walks to the edge and sees all of them and is amazed, wondering if this place was truly only filled with women because that's what she was hypothesizing right now. The women, meanwhile, were muttering why such a beautiful woman like Nami would be on Luffy's crew, or Robin. Is he holding them hostage? Yeah, he probably is. We should rescue them. Hey, before we go, you guys want to have a meal? Asked Luffy, or something. Why did I agree to this? Finding herself sitting before Luffy in her personal room, she has her sisters at her side, and Boa is completely bewildered as Luffy says, I don't know, I mean, what do you guys think you let me in here? I heard of news while at the summit that a certain pirate was crazy enough to kill a celestial dragon. I still can't believe it, Sonia says. They must be insane. Props to them, but they gotta be insane. That man was wearing a straw hat, said Boa. The two sisters then look at her and then Luffy before shouting, You killed a celestial? I don't know why everyone's so surprised by that. Yeah, my first mate punched one of them, so to make sure that we wouldn't, get him in trouble, I killed his dad. Also, he pissed me off. You may not be a danger to us, but you are definitely deranged. Takes a special type of crazy, I guess. Shut up. Okay, but why? Are you okay? Your face is red. The two giant sisters then glare at him as he apologizes, saying that he honestly doesn't want to be kicked out or off this island yet. We need to take a bit of time, honestly. I'm willing to discuss. And what makes you think that I wouldn't flatten you where you stand? As he smirks, Luffy says, well, for one, you can't. Second, I can be pretty persuasive. From above him, a gate drops a golden bottle containing wine, the aroma of which is so enticing and mesmerizing that Boa clears her throat as she was nearly salivating. You men truly are the worst. I guess you're about to find out that you're not always right today. Meanwhile, outside, as hours had passed, the men were on the ship just chilling because they didn't want any of the drama yet. They were just like having fun. And Sanji is cooking while the girls of the crew went out for a bit of exploring and being shown around by a few women. At the Sunny's kitchen, Zoro then barges in. Hey, what you got? Nothing for you. The wine cellar's down the hall. Luffy just refilled it. As he takes a seat, however, Zoro asks, why aren't you out there losing your shit? We're on an island of women. Sounds like your dream. Sanji stepping away from the stove, then lays down a plate for the swordsman. Go ahead. We need to keep our strength up. Everyone's relying on us. Sure. Answer my question, though. The more time I spend on the seas, the more it feels like my obsession with women feels a little bit more ridiculous, gross, intrusive. For once, I'll agree with you, but at my core, I am a gentleman. We met a pirate empress, and all I could think about was desecrating myself. I'd be embarrassing my captain. I don't want to disappoint Luffy, but I know Luffy also isn't really gonna... Yeah, you're overthinking it, says Zoro. I think we can all agree, as stupid as you are, I swear to God, Moss said, in the end, you got your qualities. Maybe you'll be the ladies' man you actually wanted to be if you chill the fuck out already. You're too much. People in general don't like that, not just women. If you really care about women like that, treat them like any other person, or stop weirding the hell out of me especially. It's too much. Whatever, like I'm gonna take your advice. Right now, Chopper was in his office, Frankie in the workshop, Usopp was sleeping and healing up, and Brooke was playing a little piano on the deck to pass the time. As for the girls, they were getting pretty annoyed. For the fourth time, Luffy doesn't try to jump our bones, said Nami. But that's unprecedented, said Marguerite. Maybe that's because you never actually met a man or talked to one. I'll let you talk a bit, but Luffy's still my captain. Don't badmouth him. As Robin calms Nami down with the hug, she says it's fine, and the women apologize because they can't help it, like it's just their culture. But then they feel a glare and look to see Robin just staring them down with a dark smile, and they kind of recluse a bit. They get the message. And we're gonna go back to the little party with Boa's sisters and Luffy, and they're laughing their ass off. And Sonia says, that story can't be true. No, I swear. Then Uncle Eva tripped and slammed his head so hard that I thought an earthquake happened. Luffy's stories about the Revolutionary Army even makes Boa laugh, and even her snake laugh. And of course, all the sisters with the Empress then ask why did he grow up in that kind of environment and why he's so used to it. And it also kind of explains a lot as they're even asking that question. Let's not delve into that, said Luffy. I'm sure the past is a sore subject, right? Indeed. You said you faced the fish man? Yeah? What about it? The marks, the tattoos they had. It's likely they were slaves. If not, then it was a mark of divine... No, never mind. I've seen a lot of them. Freed a few. Through all of it, my dad told me one thing. There's a reason I didn't hesitate with that so-called celestial. It's not normal. No one should think that kind of oppression is normal. It kind of pisses me off. This was the point by which Boa was sure Luffy was who he said he was, but before she said more, in barged Elder Neon, breathing heavily as Luffy turns and waves at her. He's truly here. You let him in your room? Oh, calm yourself. He's a harmless puppy. Isn't that right? Flying up close, Luffy then leaves her blushing. You're funny, huh? Her embarrassed look then turns to one of a scowl, saying, I'm a woman of many talents. Also, your breath stinks of wine. As he backs up away into the air, he says she's lying. It's wine so good that it turns around back to feeling as if there's no alcohol content. I told you that. Yeah, that still makes no sense, Marigold said. Yeah, people say that a lot. Neon watches on, shocked as Boa laughs as if just another woman, and she realizes what's going on. She's experienced it before. Anyway, after a bit of hanging out a little longer, Boa agrees to let Luffy and his crew have amnesty. By that point, night had fallen and a party had spread to the entire island, during which Luffy goes out of the castle, hangs out with his crew and the other women. They goof off, put chopsticks in their noses, and dance around like idiots, teaching the other women how to do it too. And one of the women then asks, man, this food is amazing. Can all men cook this good? I'm one of a kind, says Sanji. Hey, Sanji, look. As he looks back, he sees Luffy dancing with chopsticks and just bursts into laughter, having only just noticed them. And honestly, everyone is enjoying themselves, taken by the natural charisma of the captain. They honestly don't even care that he was a man anymore, or that some of his crew were as well. Like I said, he got that charisma. I'm not gonna say what you think I'm gonna say. I fucking hate the word riz. It's not riz. Don't say that. That's cringe. Always having fun, however, Luffy notices Elder Neon and flies off, saying that he'll be back, as he would grab a hold of the rail and just hang there. How you doing? You know, the more I talk to you, it's hard to believe you're a conqueror, Straw Hat. Please call me Luffy. Also, I don't want to really conquer anything. The king of the pirates is just the freest man on the seas. Some do not care about such notions. Just look what they're already doing. Turning a newspaper to Luffy, she showed that he was now worth 3 billion berries, and yet his face remained unchanged. Yeah, all I know is I can't tell my crew about that right now. I always try to keep them away, but I have this foreboding feeling that this darkness is reaching near. Reaching into his pocket, he pulls out Ace's Viva card, and Neon says, well, you're not wrong. The Marines have captured and planned to execute Fire Fist Ace, a man of white beauty. What's wrong? Luffy's eyes turn lifeless as she asks what's wrong again, when suddenly Luffy flies off. Attention all straw hats, gather to the sunny now! As he flies off and above everyone, a shiver ran down everyone's spine. In her chambers even, Boa began to shake uncontrollably. This anger boiling inside Luffy could not be stopped or contained, and quickly everyone runs chasing after him to the sunny. Luffy, what happened? Asked Zoro. Long story short, they're gonna execute Ace. Gas then spread amongst the crew as they turned and emboldened with a dead stare. So we're gonna march down to Impel Down and save him. Roger. At the castle, meanwhile, Boa runs out to where Neon is, asking what happened with Luffy. The other then turns, asking her to calm down. Wait, Empress, you're burning up. You need to sit down. I can't sit right now. I felt it. Luffy's pain. It's... As she begins to lose her balance at this point is when Boa passes out and thuds to the floor. Neon quickly calls for his sisters and the best doctors on the island, and the Empress had fallen ill due to an illness that had taken the lives of the other Empresses before her. Neon dreaded this. The Straw Hats, meanwhile, are getting ready to take off again. Having put away Sunny, they plan to use Vimana to fly to Impel Down, and the aircraft is pulled from Babylon as Luffy tells everyone to get on, leaving them a platform to use when he hears something and brings out a transponder. Huh? Marigold? Luffy, something bad happened to Boa, your doctor. We need him to check on her right now. Boa's sick? Chopper. The reindeer pops his head from the aircraft at this point, and Luffy tells him they will go to Boa and be right back. Are you sure about this? Shouts Frankie. We barely know this chick. Yeah, but she accepted us. It's the bare minimum. Ace can handle himself for a little bit longer, but first we'll need to treat her right now. Moments later, Luffy barges into the chambers where all the female doctors have gathered, and Chopper makes his way forward to help out, and she keeps clenching I don't know what's wrong with my vocabulary today. She keeps clenching her chest, and that is the one thing which makes them all think, of course, she's having a heart attack. But Luffy and Chopper, everyone else concludes that nothing is wrong with her heart. Like, it's very, very obvious. If she had a heart attack right now, she would be showing certain signs. You said this happened before? Asked Chopper. Taking a moment, Neon then looks to Luffy, who's wondering if Boa is okay and what the hell is going on. And the elder leans towards Boa, whispering in her ear a few words. And with those words, instantly Boa sits up. Luffy, is it true? What the hell? Her fever cleared up instantly. This medically makes no sense. Running out of her bed, Boa asks if there's nothing that she can truly do to help, because this seems like an impossible situation. Are we sure she's sick? Asked Luffy. I mean, it's good you're not. Maybe it was a fugue state thing. As long as you're okay, I'm okay. The arrows of Cupid then strikes her heart at that moment, making her nearly swoon, but she keeps composure. Then I'll hold on for you. Thanks. Maybe we ought to, chill out with the little visiting thing. I bet I brought something bad from the world of man, No, I think it's more possible that you bring trouble wherever you go. Not that I mind. The two would then giggle, caught in their own little world, while everyone watches as if spectating a bizarre phenomenon, and this is when Luffy realizes something. Fleet Admiral, there's trouble. A Vice Admiral barges into Sengoku's office while he's in a meeting, and he asks the Vice Admiral to calm down and explain the situation. Whitebeard's on the move. All ships that were set to be surveyed, the Moby Dick, everything is gone. They severed contact from us. Crap, he got us, thought Sengoku. While they're preoccupied with this, however, more trouble heads their way towards Impel Down, and 4 days have passed by this point. There's about to be a crazy little breakout. You know what's going on. Ace's execution draws near as the gates of justice are opened wide to let in the pirate empress of Kujo pirates, who as she steps out is shot with gazes, admiring her beauty, but she finds it perverse. Luffy, I wish you luck, she thought. Inside Impel Down at the beginning floor in the halls of the tamest part of this prison, the wails of prisoners echo, some in boredom, some in despair, but then those wails turn to shouts as from nowhere a veil is unfurled to show a group of people right in their grounds. Man, that was annoying, said Usopp. So this is Impel Down. Alright guys, let's do this, says Luffy. As they run down the halls, they are quickly recognized for their notoriety, courtesy of their captain Straw Hat. What are they doing here? Who sneaks into prison? You're insane. I mean, yeah, it's Straw Hat. Of course he's insane. See, that's more like me, said Luffy. But I wouldn't say evil. What does it matter at this point? Asked Nami. They always paint us in the bad light. God, I hate this place. Using the Viewer card as an indicator, Luffy uses this to lead them while the prisoners keep asking to be freed. And it is quite unnerving, especially for Chopper, Nami, and Usopp, who simply just can't deal with this kind of situation. But they bear with it when suddenly they all sense it. An enemy. Multiple, actually. Coming to a stop, they see a running clown. Buggy is shouting for his life while coming their way, and he's being chased by 3 Blueberry. I think I said that correctly. These are the keepers of this dungeon. Straw Hat? As he skids to a stop right before he hits his old enemy, the 2 wings of the Pirate King, future Pirate King, I'm getting ahead of myself right there, they dash forward, kicking up and slashing up the storm, sending the 2 Blueberry to the ceiling before striking at the remaining one, cutting off its head and caving in its stomach before they fall. I had that, Moss said. Yeah, you keep telling yourself that. Oh, you came here to save me, right? Shouts Buggy. Hell no, said Frankie. Who the hell are you? Of course you wouldn't be here for me. Yeah, you suck, said Luffy. At this point, Buggy's esteem is just broken. Luffy then begins to fly off, and he says that he truly has no time for any of this, and his crew follows as Broke then says, what a bizarre man. You're a skeleton, I don't want to hear that from you, shouts the clown. Yo, fair enough, goodbye. No, wait. He runs after them and quickly catches up, but along the way, they are met by more Blueberry. Luckily, everyone here is actually equipped to fight and handle their own. They take down these creatures with ease, opening up a path for their captain who flies on ahead before they follow him. Hey, wait, I have a proposition. Help me escape and I'll do you any favor. I am the great pirate Buggy. Look, man, I don't really care what you do. I don't have time to kick your ass or rescue you. So keep up like your life depends on it. It shouldn't be too hard for the great pirate Buggy, right? You bastard. Fine, I'll survive no matter what you throw at me. Yeah, I'm not throwing anything. I'll be smashing into them. God, I hate you. The feeling's mutual. Just then, however, they reach the end of the hall and Luffy punches through it as he flies out, and this would give him the first view of what awaited them. It was nothing but air. But below himself, he saw the second level, the Crimson Hell. He quickly summons Vimana, which his crewmates land on, and they look down. This concoction of horror is just too much. It's completely shocked them, and it only gets worse as they descend. Why would they do this? They're already in prison. Isn't that enough? Asked Frankie. Damn, I'm about to hurl. As the prisoners beg for help, Luffy with a grunt releases his conqueror spirit and flattens the poisonous spikes to dust in an instant below the feet of everyone, and they look on in shock. Don't let him get away. Straw Hat Luffy has infiltrated. I repeat, Straw Hat Luffy and his entire crew has infiltrated. A system alarm begins to blare, letting everyone know that one of their worst enemies is here. Every enforcer in the entire place just starts to run for this guy. This news even reaches Ace, who's at the 6th floor, as he smiles even while being chained up. Then he looks to his left. Behind his bars sat Garp with a look of dread, uneasiness. I'm sorry, old man. Legitimately, he's gonna cause havoc because I screwed up. I shouldn't have done any of this. The Straw Hats meanwhile quickly fall to the demonic beast hell using a massive hole at the center of the Crimson Hell, and the prisoners serenade Luffy, who they now know is their savior, and they also begin to riot. Buggy managed to hang on with the crew long enough to then see things he thought impossible, such as a massive snarling bird staring them down about to eat them. The Basilisk, this legendary creature, is the first thing they meet aside from many more cells, which surprises them and sends them on the run for a while until Sanji takes the chance to summon his new noble phantasms, the Wind and Fire Wheels. From his feet explode fire and a smell of gold as he blasts the sky. Below his feet roll and spin golden wheels lit ablaze that allow him to swing and release a shockwave of wind and flames. This hits the Basilisk's face, crushes it in as it falls back and breaks some bars, and releases from these cells prisoners who begin to riot as well, until they look up and see Sanji flying in the air while taking a smoke. Huh? What are you looking at? He looks majestic. He's the one that broke us out. He's our savior. As they begin to cheer, the Luffy is laughing a little bit. Sanji is confused and angry. Shut up, I am not your goddamn savior, alright? Let them, said Luffy. This might work in our favor. Hey, Buggy. You want to get out of here, right? I have a bad feeling about this. You sure, South Sanji? It's always something crazy. Crap, the Basilisk destroyed the guard room in level 2. We are now in the monitor room of Impel Down, where they had been getting many distress signals, and as they try to follow the action through their many cameras and their screens, some of them get destroyed, but then one shows it. Straw Hat, he really is an Impel Down. As the crew runs, behind them a horde of free criminals begin to cause chaos and build a cult around Buggy, which makes Sanji happy because he's off the hook. So they keep running until they reach this massive gate, but before this massive gate awaits a manticore, which is also massive. It seemed like a different breed compared to the little manticores they had beaten thus far on their way, but it didn't matter. As they approached it, the beast felt this overwhelming anger from Luffy and began to shiver. The shiver turns to a full shape before it cowers, much to the shock of all those who can see it as the captain flies over it and his crew just runs around. He scared it? He scared that thing? No wonder he has such a high bounty. That freaking monster, thought Buggy. Just then, however, the clown then notices someone who might be of help and releases them as well. Eventually, he and this man run after the Straw Hats while the others wait in this hell that the Straw Hats had left behind to just cause more chaos. 3rd level starvation hell. There they find hung prisoners who were no more and only had their corpses left behind, and their souls were long gone. Alright everyone, take some rations. As they're told to stop, Sanji then summons the cloth, giving them some food, which leaves the clown and Mr. 3 salivating, and they just stare at the Straw Hats eating. "I'll just take one," says Sanji. He hands them a huge drumstick with some water to just drink it down, and they just cannot believe how amazing this is. "Oh, delicious, you lucky son of a bitch." "I can't tell if you're thankful or not," said Chopper. "Of course I am, you raccoon. I am a reindeer." As he goes from small to buff form, Buggy looks on in horror. "Yeah, could have fooled me." Just then they start to hear rumbling, however, and stand. Coming their way, they find more Blueberry, and they run and face them. Obviously, they're interrupted by the little meal, but suddenly they're then swept up into a net. Ah, damn it! Below them, an entire army of Blueberry begins to gather, and with them, the captain of the Blueberry arrives on the scene named Saldeth. I hope I said that correctly. I really don't care, he's fodder. And though he keeps a facade of confidence, he is terrified and is actually trying to negotiate right now. Straw Hat, the position of warlord, I don't care. I'm gonna find Ace. With these words, he grabs the net with his bare hands, rips it open, and then just flies down, crashes, sending the Blueberry and the captain of these creatures flying. His crew jumps down as well, and they begin to fight this entire army. And Zoro said, "Don't try to rush. If you get hurt, well, I've broken our promise to Robin." Wait, Robin can't come with us? Shouts Chopper. Back at Amazon Lily, days prior, we find the crew gathered as Luffy reveals this, but Frankie quickly understands. We're enemies who honestly have done too much, and we're gonna be in the enemy's territory. Just because Luffy kills Celestial doesn't mean that they still won't want her too. And if he has to focus on saving Ace or Robin, I'll make a choice I'll regret, said Luffy. I'm not giving them the option to use that on me. Just then, Robin puts her phantasm, her little cowboy hat, on his head, and they all see Robin is very worried and is hiding it behind a smile. You come back, okay? All of you. This was what filled them with even more motivation. Not only that they must save Ace, but they also must get back to their crewmate who's waiting for them. And on their way, they soon find some stairs, and they would run and run. When they do, they find a familiar someone. Bon Clay? Huh? Straw Hat. Bon Clay. Straw Hat Boy. As he comes to a stop, he and the captain share a hug, and he asks if they all came here for him. Luffy says, "Nope." Ah, so harsh. "But you're definitely Luffy," said Bon. Very straightforward. Just then, some steps are heard as guards who were chasing Bon Clay meet the Straw Hat crew and the entire group and come to a halt due to Luffy's presence. They end up tripping forward as the Straw Hats clear away and watch them literally just roll away. "Anyway, came here to save my brother. Care to give me a hand?" "So that's why." "Sure thing. Who's the clown?" "Shut up, damn it. Can we go already?" asked Buggy. "And who's the other guy?" asked Frankie. "Right, we haven't been formally introduced. I'm Mr. 3. I used to be part of Baroque Works, and you're already running off. Why do I even try?" As he chases after them, from here it's pretty smooth sailing, at least by their standards. Most of them didn't even have to fight, such as Chopper, who was actually saving his Unable Phantasms for later. He can choose to fight with Gungnir Steel, of course, but he's saving strength because he's the doctor, and his new weapon is important for that. So they forge forward, meet a few beasts, and end up in the Infernal Hell, where it is annoyingly scorching, but they have yet to actually enter it. And from above, they see the rising flames and what seems to be like a massive boiling pot beneath the entire infrastructure. "Okay, who the hell made this place?" shouts Frankie. "They got real issues." "You said there was someone you were looking for, right?" asked Luffy. "You're willing to risk your life for them?" "I mean, of course. That person is none other than Imperial Ivankov." "Oh, that's my uncle. Or aunt, depending on how he feels that day." "He is?" shouts Bon Clay. "I know a lot of people. Alright, let's go." Summoning from his gate a disc, he has everyone land on it, and they slowly descend, and soon they set foot in the territory and are already left drenched instantly. So much so that when they find this massive boiling pot, it's not water that's boiling, but it's boiling blood. Frankie is not off. Whoever made this place has issues. They stand atop the bridge right below it, and Luffy looks down from the edge. "Hey, let's keep going already," shouts Buggy. "Now you want to stop?" "I don't like it." "Don't like what?" asks Usopp. "I have a bad feeling." As he holds his hand forward, Luffy opens a gate from below, like literally down below where everyone's making this boiling pot boil even more, and they start to feel colder, and they mention it. "Hey, am I going crazy? Yeah, it's a little cooler, right?" The air begins to settle, and it all leads back to simply one thing, not Luffy's frozen blade, but a ball of what looks like silver. "Oh, how are you doing that?" asked Mr. 3. "Don't ask. The answer's just gonna confuse you anyway," says Sanji. "Let's just go." Luffy says sure, leaving the ball of silver in the air there for a while, and they begin to run when, slamming right before them, the Warden Magellan shows himself. "Straw Hat, please, let's talk," said the frightened man. Will Luffy actually listen to the Warden? Will they reach Ace in time? Find out the next part of One Piece. I hope you enjoyed this. Peace. Down.
bringing heat. You'll be a fan when I start rapping. Way I'll have your fucking head spinning. I'm known as spit vicious. Release bombs and go tick tick. Boom, you blow me that head missing. I'm a phenomenon. Stacking cheese like it's Parmesan. 8 different flows, call me Octomom. I'm moving fast like the Autobahn. And I'm independent, so I'm not your fucking starving like it's Ramadan.